put my faith in you. They turn their backs on you. Man, I'm never going back. Man, I'm never going back. I put my faith in you. They turn their backs on you. Man, I'm never going.
What's up, what's up, what's up? This is Rebel Ray, your co-host with the Moses, and this is
R. Collins.
That's What's Up, and we are back, new and improved, trying to test this new sound out, so hopefully we can get some great feedback from you all tonight.
Definitely.
And, shout out to everyone chilling in Stockton in this heat.
Man, ain't it hot? Woo!
The heat
It's
got
hot.
us like, whoa. Remember what the old folks used to say?
What they say?
I don't want to go to hell. What's that song?
I don't know.
Something like they,
I ain't never heard that
go
one.
to hell. If it's hot down there, I don't want to go to hell.
It'll really make you say that walking around here. I'll tell you that. For real.
But it's been hot, and also the ongoing fires that are going on in California. It is causing great pollutants. It is not safe for your children to be outside to play right now, or breathe the air, or anybody that's COPD.
In California, it's like the fires and stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Asthmatic. Huh? So here in Stockton, we are in the bow. We are literally in a bow in the valley, and everything seeps down into the valley and kind of settles there. So we have like one of the worst waters in America.
Yeah.
Systems. There's a drought going on. So with all this dry stuff, usually there's a virus that's lurking somewhere that's coming up. So just be on the lookout. If you're not breathing right, pine allergies are real.
Ooh,
okay,
tell them about it, because I'm telling you, I know all about those.
It is in the air. I'm a little stuffed up right now, considerably. I don't really do well with pine allergies, so I found that out going back to Oklahoma. I was like, what is going on?
What is this?
I feel like somebody just punched me in the face. I'm talking like Daffy Duck.
Wow.
I'm all stuffed up. What is going on? The pharmacist was like, oh, that's pine allergies. Where are you from there? I'm like, yeah, okay. So it might be just those trees that are on fire, along with everything else that's going on in the air and that's settling down. So be on the lookout for your health. So today's topic, resetting, redefining, finding yourself and protecting your inner peace, yes. Right? We're midway through the year. Oh my God, right? Second year going on in the pandemic. I don't know about you all, but hopefully you all are doing okay. You're settling okay. It's hard right now out here.
It is. It is.
Food prices have gone up.
Man, look, I filled up a small little tank the other day, and it cost $72. I can't make this up.
Bro,
I cannot make this up.
It's not a good look, and it would have you really feeling like, why, Jesus? What are you trying to tell us? Because everything in the economics here in California will strangle you.
Come on.
From insurance. How many insurance we have to have now? And now
insurance for everything.
Now that you become a renter in California, more and more people from even, I would say, property management, they want you to have, renters insurance. So we have 3 insurances. We have to be insured. That's mandatory.
Yeah.
Then they're making mandatory rental insurance.
I need hat insurance. I got a bunch of hats that I need hat insurance for.
Okay.
I'm just a joke.
You got your life insurance. Okay, I was just like, okay.
We're going to need light insurance. We're going to need carpet insurance.
You got to have that house.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to have that house insurance. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So
we do.
It's all bad. Anyway, gas is $5, $6 in some places. Rent is anywhere in California from the lowest of maybe 1,200 now. I haven't seen anything out there 1,200 to about $10,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's crazy.
That's just 2-bedroom, you guys. So 1,200 is not going to get you too much. Maybe in El Campo where the cows roam and the Cowboys used to play.
What is that song?
Look up El Campo, California, where the buffaloes roam.
That's where y'all need to go to get some cheap rates these days.
Some cheap rent, okay?
You know,
because the rent is outrageous.
It's crazy, especially
currently $1,800, $1,850.
Stockton is turning into the Bear. I did not know that the rental rates were that high.
Yes,
I had no clue. That's crazy.
So obviously, all of these things, these economic stressors, everything else that's happening around you, you have to reorganize your behavior, your thought processes, how you handle things, the stress level that you're feeling. Right? It gets to a point where you're thinking about how to juggle all this stuff, and you have 2 and 3 jobs. Who's going to take care of your kids?
Yep.
They talk about now again, maybe shutting down again with the COVID variant.
Yep.
So a lot of people are kind of like losing their mind. They stressed out. Relationships did not survive the pandemic. They survived 20 years. But,
a lot of relationships didn't survive.
You know?
It's getting crazy.
I think about, some of the celebrity marriages that didn't last.
Tell me about it.
Like, what's the rapper down in LA?
Oh, it's a bunch of them
that did not survive. What's the one that whines and cries all the time? Tyrese.
Oh, he's a singer. He's not a rapper.
I know, but he's a celebrity that lost his wife. It's just like people are really finding out the true nature of people when you got to be in a household.
When you got to be with them. Yeah.
All the time. That's amazing how that works. And so how do you regroup yourself by this point?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. One thing that you have to do first is you really have to analyze your day-to-day activities, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. You gotta see if, okay, what I'm doing, is this making me happy? Am I happy? If you're not happy, then you gotta, write down a list of everything that's not making you happy and why it's not making you happy. It's very important, you know what I mean? And analyze, the pros and the cons of, is this unhappiness that I'm having? Is this worth, me being unhappy? And sometimes it comes in different forms, and sometimes it comes in the form of relationships. It can come in the form of, certain people that you may have in your inner circle. It may come in the form of a job. It may come in the form of, just different, a variety of many different things. A car, you may not like the car you drive. Some people go out there and see their car, they want to kick the tires, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that will cause, someone to be in that mindset,
I know these stressors, though, got people really just like, I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And just understanding where your actual, what is it called? Your boundaries are with people like taking on other people's problems when you're trying to figure out your own.
Right? You nailed it. Let's talk about that.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Oh my goodness.
So a lot of people who watch this podcast has a baseline for Christian belief or just a real moral, ethical guidance within yourself to say, hey, love thy neighbor. Yeah. But then some of us, like me, struggle to conceptualize where the boundaries should go and who needs help, who needs to learn that life lesson by themselves, who is just manipulating, right? It took me a very long time.
You got a lot of those.
Right, because it took skill being a therapist to really understand there are people out there, and we touched on this a little bit, there are people out there who are just manipulative and will steal your inner peace, will bring you
quick, fast, in a hurry.
Toxicity, will bring you the gossip, will bring you everything and just affect you. Your whole just aura and energy will be like draining
And then, you know, the coldest
to
part,
you?
sometimes it's people that we don't want to let go, either because, you know, they are family, or they may be people that we've had in our lives for a very, very long time.
Okay. And a lot of that's unhealthy codependency, right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of codependent on a toxicity. Them actually calling you every night and telling you about everybody else's business.
Mm-hmm.
Where's their business? That ever came to your mind? Like, why don't they mind their own business, but they bring it to you? It's because that person is not extrinsic. That person doesn't internalize. They just dump and they just say negative things. So it takes a lot of stuff from you.
It does. It really does.
So let's talk about those boundaries, right? So there's several boundaries that you can protect your inner peace if you put them up the right way. And some people have porous boundaries. That's what we call in psychology.
Okay, school us then, because I'm in class.
Porous just means basically what it sounds like. It's poor, it's unfulfilling, there's no structure, kind of everything is free flowing, right? Then you got people who are rigid. It's a no, it's a no, it's a HE double hockey stick no for me. Super rigid, I don't care, me over everybody mentality.
Yeah, I know about those too.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so it's kind of like people struggle with, how do I balance showing that I am a humanitarian person, I love the people, I'm for God and his works and all that, to just saying outright no. What is a healthy no? To protect my peace, because everything is swirling around me. What is a healthy no?
What about those people that put you in a position to make it difficult to say no? They run the guilt trip. You know what I mean? You ever get that inbox where somebody they may say that they can't feed their kid, or something where you will feel guilty about not helping. Like, oh, little Timmy, he ain't ate in 3 days, and we just the lights are off, and then some of them address it like this: do you know anybody that could possibly help us? Right. Knowing that they're talking about you.
Right. Yeah. I hate it when you run up on me while I'm at the ATM. Like, don't do that.
Oh, that ain't never happened to me, but that would
yeah. And I got like Medea. I got my deep voice on it. I said, hey, you don't know me? You don't know me? You don't know me? I don't care if you thought I was a man. I don't even care. I got like deep.
You didn't hit him with the purse, did you?
Yes, I know. But I turned around like in that stance, like I'm from Stockton. I have survived almost 40 years in Stockton. Don't get this twisted. Don't run up on me.
Don't get it twisted.
Pulling money from the ATM.
Don't get it twisted.
Somebody. Woo, I can't do it. But it's like, okay, how do you protect your inner peace? Going back to people begging. That's what we're talking about, really.
Yeah, you got a lot of beggars. This one thing that bothers me. You got people that would rather put a burden on you first than actually go out and try to help themselves. That bothers me. That you're their last what's the word I'm looking for? Option.
Or option.
You are their last option and their first one, right? Because some people in their mind, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to go try, and some people keep you around just to keep you as an option.
Well, people see you as a trick. Let's just call it for what it is.
Okay.
And some people are okay with being tricked. Yeah. But other people really are not aware of the internalized behavior that you're supporting. You're supporting codependency of that person. You're enabling that person not to, pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Yeah. Now, it sounds like real crazy rhetoric that I'm saying right now. But because I'm a social worker, I truly believe if I can lead you to the resources, I can't do it for you. But if you can show some effort, if you can show that, this is what I'm willing to do and I'm coming up against adversity, I will, if it's in my power, I will help. But you got to show me something first, right? Be solution focused and not just self-loathing, right? And I think that's why we can really understand a healthy no. If you can understand that part, that everyone, and we're giving different size boots, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Some of us are given privilege because we were born into privilege.
Yeah.
And some of us did not have all of that.
Yeah.
So we're starting at a non-equitable factor, right? There's so many things that come into play.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, it's like in the same instance, I hate to sound like I'm double-minded, but in the same instance, it's like you gotta be able to support a plan for yourself.
Listen, if you are not taking care of you and your household first, this is one thing I learned a long time ago. Because folks will, what's the word we use? Trick? They'll trick and treat you to death, right? If you don't take care of your own household first, you will find yourself in a situation where you ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? And then you looking back at them same people who milked you dry, and ain't none of them blinking an eye or batting a hand or nothing to help you.
Well,
they're not going to help
you because they've always come to someone else.
They're codependent
with their problems.
Yeah.
And so we are not talking about not being democratic, y'all, right now. We're not talking about not feeding the poor. We're not talking about.
In some instances, I am, and I'll break that down in a minute.
Oh, we'll break it down. But what I'm saying is, we're not talking about the extreme cases of poverty and people need intervention.
Exactly.
We're talking about individuals that continue to use you and come back to you. How do you protect your inner peace? We're going back to that topic. So going back to what is a healthy no? Can we role play that? Because you're good at it. I'm not as good.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm good at it.
I'm not.
Now,
you're really good.
Let me tell you guys why I'm very good at giving a very healthy and sometimes unhealthy no. And this is just being honest. Because I've been used so many times, I've allowed myself, my heart, to get in the way. This is why I'm so knowledgeable in this area, because I've allowed my heart to get in the way so many times, countless of times. I'm just telling y'all, so many times, and I'm gonna be real. Sometimes people will come with the saddest stories. Now if you're not that Ace Coon Boone of mine, if you ain't that ride or die that I know, like, don't even trip. I got you no matter what. You know what I mean? We're not talking about them. We talking about the ones that's like just users, right?
Yeah.
So me, I can't even tell y'all how much I get inboxed on a daily. I can't tell y'all, like, y'all wouldn't even believe me if I told y'all. Y'all would think I was lying. But this is what I say. First, I'll start with the homeless situation.
And we're going to be very trauma informed how we're talking about people who are displaced.
Yeah, but once you guys hear what I'm saying, you guys will really understand what I'm saying. All right, so one time, I'm going to give a story. One time I had a bunch of crackheads, right?
Oh, they were in the car. That's not trauma informed.
I got to be honest. I got to be transparent. I'll be trauma informed with the homeless people, though.
But that's the.
It was
on substances.
I have to give you guys the actual account of what happened, and you have to know who it was, okay? Because there's a lot of these kind of people, but it was a car full of crackheads, right?
Oh,
they had
it again.
The car, the car. Okay, the car. They had it off, and they were in there as if there was no gas in the car. The gas station was literally across the street. I walked by, and they asked me, "Hey, man, can you help us out?" Gave me the sad story. We don't got no gas. It's hot. Please, can you help us out? God bless you. They threw the God thing in there. Touched my heart. Really touched my heart. I said, you know what? I said, how far are you guys away from home? They said, we not that far. We just need to get home. We got money at home, but we just need to get there, right?
They got money at home.
They didn't want to walk nothing to the house. Look, so I don't know. I gave them like $20. Listen, y'all, I cannot make this up. As soon as it crossed the line of the window, right? The car started, they snatched the money and took off and skirted. Never went to the gas station, nothing. All right. So I told myself, I said, you know what? At that moment, now, And that's the summary. There's a lot of things, other things.
That victimization that you find that kindness, people really think kind people are weak.
Yeah.
They really think that. And that is not the truth.
I might have been weak at that time though, but I'm not weak no more. So this is what I do. I now being trauma informed with homeless people now.
Thank you.
I love homeless people. I was once in a situation where I didn't have anywhere to go. So I can definitely relate, and I definitely love to help people who are in situations where they don't have anywhere to go, or they may not have any food, or in situations like that. However, I'm wise when I do deal with people like this, because you have people that will use their situation as a means to use you. Okay. Now, for example, I was in front of the gas station in Sacramento one time, and there was an individual. He was like, man, I'm hungry. If you can help me out with some money so I can get something to eat. Right. So me, at this time being wise, I've been used so many times. I said, okay, what do you feel like eating? He said, man, maybe a sandwich or, something. Wiener Schnitzel was right there. He said, man, Wiener Schnitzel, a sandwich, something. So I was like, okay. So I said, look, don't worry about it. I said, hey, let's go ahead and walk to Wiener Schnitzel and I'll buy you something to eat. This dude had to, I'm not even lying, y'all. This dude had the nerve to tell me, I don't want that SHIT, and walked off. He didn't want the food. I was going to buy him the food. So listen, this is how I do it. And when I see that somebody is genuinely hungry and I go and buy them some food, and if God puts it on my heart and I see that they have another need, guess what? I may bless them with some bread or something, like, hey, here goes some more money, because I see that they were genuine, that they were hungry. I genuinely seen people that really were in those situations. Now, on the flip side, right, we'll talk about people who aren't homeless, but just like to use people, okay? Because you got a lot of those, all right?
So we got to throw out some skills and some tools for protecting your inner peace, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about inner peace, and how does that look like?
Bring me back, because I can drift.
It's all good, man. Like, that's what a podcast is. But, you're telling from your life experiences, and, it's just us two telling like it is from our experience. But our viewers have other experiences and perceptions on the whole thing about giving and even how to give. Sometimes you can do it to a charitable organization where 90% of that money is going back into the population is supposed to serve, right?
Yeah.
Or either taking up arms yourself and doing what you have to do for the community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I always connect to resources. I let them know, like, look, if you can call 211, this is what can happen, because all the time I don't have the change to give you, right? And certainly I don't want to give you the change to create a habit off of me, or you got a habit and then you went and did something illegal and you harmed somebody.
Yeah.
I sold into that, right? So I don't really like giving money per se, but I will buy a meal. I will make sure I hold space with that person.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that person. I don't just say, leave me alone. I don't have any money. I don't do that. Right. So we still have to have, no, it's not.
That's not nice.
We still have to have a humanitarian approach to our brothers and sisters that are out there who are homeless in that capacity.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there are individuals who continually to self-inflict themselves. And those are the ones that, even as a therapist, I have a hard time with. And you do have those. They self-inflict themselves. They put themselves in positions. You have that friend. She's attracted to that toxic guy. Oh, the sex is good. He does me like this. He buys this for me. But he toxic, girl.
He toxic.
he gaslights you as soon as you get on the phone, right? Why does he take from your strength? So let's talk about narcissistic men.
Mm-hmm.
An empathetic woman.
Mm-hmm.
So the narcissist, a lot of people it's a lot of literature up there, right? Why you feel so drained with individuals who they have a personality disorder, basically.
Yeah.
They don't know how to connect to people. All they know how to do is use, because they be in survival mode, right?
Man, you nailed it. That's what it is.
So a lot of times they don't know how to feel. So what they're going to do is they're going to rehearse the feelings that you want them to show.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make it seem like everything is all good. They're always going to be grounding to you. As soon as you say no, You'll see everything in a book that you ain't never did right.
Woo!
Okay, that's called gaslighting.
You the most wickedest person ever in the world when you say no.
Okay, so when a person just comes through, gaslights, steals your energy, steals the self-control and the self-belief in you, and you're feeling good, and you just feel drained when this person come over because of their mouth. That's called gaslighting. It's an actual method to manipulate.
Wow.
So if you could break the person down, right? Because I study a lot of dark psychology too.
Oh.
And they use dark psychology in business and marketing, you guys.
Okay.
But anyway, when an individual, mostly a lot of times we find a lot of data on males, right? They'll come in, drop a fire on you. You're doing good. Everything is fine. They see that you're happy and you're not doing what they want you to do. Gaslight it. Boom. Okay. And that happens, right? So how do you protect your inner peace? How do you come away from those toxic relationships? Can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm going to be honest. You know, I personally have never been in a toxic relationship where it was to the point where I felt like, God, it messed my day up, or it made me depressed, or, you know, it just was, I mean, on a perpetual basis. Because some people, when you're in a relationship, some people can mess your day up every day. Every single day. A natural,
to do that, though.
A natural relationship, you're going to have ups and downs. But like, you got relationships where just seeing this person, it makes your stomach just turn. Now, I can say I have, you know, in the past been around people that and okay, let me rewind. And when I say relationship, I mean being in a relationship with a woman. Okay, now I have been in relationships with people who are friends, right? And trust me, that was no bueno. Okay, and in my mind, every time this person called, and they love me as a friend, love being around me. You know, always called me, you know, and sometimes when they called me, I didn't like answer my phone because I knew it was more nonsense, you know, and this person was always caught up in drama, always had issues, always was fighting, it was just horrible, right? And I was about making my money at the time. I wasn't about that life. I was on some, you know, just making bread and trying to stay away from drama, but it was hard because this person considered me as their partner, and you know, after a while I didn't consider them as my partner. In the beginning I did because, you know, it was a mutual it was mutually satisfying with love, peace, and then, you know, I guess the true colors started coming out eventually, you know, and in my mind I knew that I can't be around this person or I'm going to end up just like them, you know. So
interesting.
Yeah. So what happened was
taking on their energy and
you know. So in my mind, I had to tell myself, okay, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings because I know they love me. They love me as a person. They love being around me. They consider me, you know, and the person actually looked up to me, you know. So I really didn't want to damage them in the sense of just throwing them away from me. So I had to be creative, you know, and with my creativity, I had to just stay busy. I was busy all the time, you know, and the time that I did have for them was very minimal, you know, and I would prepare myself for the minimal time that I had with them until I was able to wean them off.
So that's the boundary that you put up.
That was the boundary that I put up.
That's what he described, a very healthy boundary that was put into place. And so I talked about briefly that there were several boundaries. There's intellectual boundary. A lot of times you can go into a whole argument, an intellectual boundary about what a person knows, what their belief system is, and they may not be at the emotional or psychological or even the social development as yourself. So being able to actually trying to engage in conversation sometime, literally it looks like you just stepping back and allowing that person to have the word, and being able to practice that. Hey, you have your self-determination about how you're going to live your life. I have my views and my perceptions and my self-determination, and leave it there. That's a boundary. So intellectual boundary is a boundary.
Yeah.
Financial. So financial boundaries meaning you understand what your capacity is. You know the type of money that's going through your hands, what responsibilities you have to have when you go to, do your thing with your finances. If you always have a friend or even a boyfriend or a girlfriend, let's talk about it, because men, you all feel like with this unhealthy masculinity we grew up with, that y'all have to pay for everything, that the man has to, when he's dating, pay for everything. And a lot of times girls go on free dates. We go on movie dates, dinner dates. And a lot of times the guy is crushing on us, but we know that, but we go because it's basically a gift. He paying, why not? And so you have to create financial boundaries for yourself on what you're going to actually put into someone. Same thing with family. You have an enabling family member that comes through.
That is
they
the
can
most
never
important.
pay their PG&E bill, but they always got a radical new purse on fleek. Their nails and hair is done, but they always need that money for the PG&E.
Yep.
You got to reevaluate your boundaries with that person. Let that person know initially, hey, this money I'm giving to you is my hard-earned money. I know you don't want to hear about it, but I would appreciate you if you can give this back to me.
Yeah.
When that person doesn't give it back to you, depending on what they say, you understand where you need to place that boundary, right? So we got financial, we got intellectual, we got emotional. So
that's a big one.
Yes.
That's a really big one.
This is a boundary dealing with your emotions, right? Of course, just like what it says. So what do you think that involves, R. Collins?
Well, personally, I feel like for me, I'll say, like I've had people that would call me and always would have a catastrophe. I mean, it never fails. It's all like, when I tell you the dark cloud was consistently over some of these people's houses, heads, wherever they walk, it's always the dark cloud. And whenever they called me, it was always dark, okay? And this was a relative of mine, so the call would go something like this. Hey, cuz, how you doing? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm not doing so well, right? That's how I start off. In my mind, first thing, I'm like, here we go. How can I escape?
How do I escape? Jesus,
but
tell me.
This cousin, right?
Send me a ram in the bush. Let the phone drop.
Please.
Something that you're breaking
Somebody call me. Something.
Can you hear me?
You know what I mean? Hey, for real.
Oh.
I'm not doing so well. And I promise
don't let them bring the kids in it. When you bring the kids, like,
even
it's
worse.
affecting my kids. I'm like, oh, and I want to say you shouldn't have had them. But then I'll be like, no. You cannot be like that, rebel. You can't say stuff like that. How non-empathetic, right? But you're right.
But the cold part is they'll say emotionally attached things that I can't hang up with.
Like what?
But I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm gonna
say.
tell you first. Hey, it's like, hey, cousin, how you doing? I'm like, hey, how you doing, cousin? Not doing so good, right? That's first thing, right? So then I'm like,
tag your heart a little bit.
Then now I'm like, okay,
pulling on your strings.
As soon as I can, I'm gonna wiggle my way in and say, oh, you know what? Got a lot of stuff going on right now. Let me hit you back in a little bit, right? But so immediately they go right into the problem, right? And then they associate the problem with either their parent, their children.
So can I
something that I can't just
right
because it'll make me feel. See, and I'll let you. If I say I gotta call you back, it'll make me seem insensitive.
So
to what they're saying.
let me flag what a manipulator does. That is a projection move, and so a lot of times when you don't want to talk about what's actually happening, you don't want to hear it from people. You may project onto people, and so. People will project their problems all day long. They will allow you to be their emotional garbage can, call you up, put this heavy burden on you,
Heavy.
and then they're out skating free. Right?
Oh, they free.
And that was a dumping session. That's what it was meant to be, on top of the fact I got in your pockets.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really hard even saying this because it took me so long to understand my boundaries and what I was not going to put up with. So I'm just kind of sharing with you all even what I struggle with, because I believe in a humanitarian approach to all things. But
I do.
I really thought, be honest, you guys, I'm just going to be honest. I looked at the world with rosy colored glasses. There's good in everybody.
Well,
you know, and
but real quick to stop you, I still do like to, even the users, I still do like to see the good in them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll help a user knowing that they're using me.
The good thing is they know how to use.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So they build strengths in any of their approaches too, on how to get you.
Yeah. How to get you.
No, I'm serious. They have built mechanisms, and one of the mechanisms is projecting on you their emotional everything. So then what's the next step he did? So,
well, I say she, but so then it's like, you know, they talk about the parent, and they go into and this is not just one call. This is almost every call. Look, so then they talk about the parent and emotional things that was going on with the parent, and then the kids, and then the family, right? And how they felt attacked, and just all kind of things that I couldn't hang up with, because if I would have hung up during that time, I would have been insensitive to them. So in my mind, I knew that I had this like it never failed. Every time this person called, it would mess my day up. Partially, right? For the first few hours of my day, I'm feeling vexed because first I'm in a call that I don't want to be in, right? There's nothing positive about it. There's nothing that's giving me joy. There's nothing that is making me feel.
Feeding you back.
There's nothing that's feeding me. I don't feel positive energy. You know, I love phone calls where I'm getting that positive energy, and you know, and I'm giving them as much as they're giving me, and you know, stuff like that. But when I have calls like that, so in my mind, I knew that I had to do something about this, because this person was draining my energy all the time. And I knew that every time this person called me with their problems, and they knew, look, I'm related to this person. So if somebody damaged them, they expect for me to be upset with the person that damaged them. You know what I mean? And if I wasn't upset with that person, then I wasn't a good cousin.
So to keep it there, you know, that's another red flag.
Yeah.
Accountability, self-accountability. The person cannot account for any of their behaviors, even if it's self-loathing. They can't correct. They're always coming back, and they've been like this for a certain amount of time now. And I'm not talking about a couple of months. It's been years that this behavior continues to happen all the time. There are patterns with individuals that will suck all of your good aura and your good energy away from you, right? So you have to really, really put your boundaries up in a good way and be able to say a healthy no. So that's emotional boundaries. We talked about financial boundaries. We talked about intellectual boundaries. There are things called sexual boundaries. Sexual boundaries.
Speak on it. Oh, real quick, just you know what I call people that do all those things? I call them leeches.
Leeches.
I do. I call them leeches
because I call them succubi.
Okay, speak on that.
Pure as day. They're real life personified humanoid leeches, succubi, and that's what it is in spirit. They suck your spirit. They suck your energy.
They will suck you dry. You can't listen. You gotta stay away from people like this, y'all.
You got to if you're gonna flourish, right?
Yeah, you have to. And I know sometimes we're emotionally attached to people that and the
but
most.
Can I say why?
Go ahead.
The reason why we're emotionally attached, you're very right, brother, is because that's our trauma response. It's emotional trauma, and that's what brought us together. And that's what you think is going to keep us together? No. I want to be healthier than the trauma that I went through or the trauma you came with in the relationship. And that's any relationship.
Yeah.
Whether it be mother to daughter, father to son, right? Vice versa. Whether it be brother to sister, right? A lot of times you have an older brother that might have went through some trauma that the younger kids didn't do, vice versa, in the relationship. And it's a lot of that family or nothing, bro. Those are all listen, those are all things that are lies that were told to us in the family unit. The Black family unit struggles with that because we have values that don't include self-care all the time. I know I'm talking.
Self-care, you talking. Self-care is so important.
We tell grandmama that it is her responsibility if everybody is on crack, if everybody is on drugs, to take care of the grandbabies. When y'all out partying and everything is on grandmama. That is unhealthy. You're creating an unhealthy environment for your grandmother. When y'all stress her out and she knows she's the last pillar standing, y'all stress that pillar and that pillar falls, the family unit usually falls because she was the matriarch that set all of the moral and ethic guidance that's not being drove down or pushed down to the next generation.
Come on.
That is trauma response.
Come on. Yes.
Stop with the intergenerational trauma, Black folks. This is to all folks.
Man, this is happening in every household.
Every household.
Every household. You know what I mean? Now. And I'm gonna just tell you, you know, if you cannot use a healthy no, if you cannot get away from this, these people are gonna bring you down. I know. Listen, they'll put you in a dark place. You will find yourself somewhere where you'll be. Have you ever look? And this is how I know, because I've let people take me to such a dark place. It's not even funny. I've let people take me to such a dark place to the point where I was up all night thinking about it.
Right, and so
couldn't even sleep.
And they sleep with their snuggle upperglass, pajama.
What do you call those snugglets?
Those snuggles. I said snuggle off. I'm a Sesame Street baby, but in reality, they don't operate in the realm of inner peace. They operate in the realm of chaos, and that's how they strive.
And they're comfortable.
You have to understand, some people are comfortable in chaos. Yeah. So protecting your inner peace looks like a lot of sending that phone call, Art Collins, to decline and be okay with that. And if something were to happen to that person, does not mean that you have to be hit with survival guilt.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If somebody were to die, they reached out, you did your part. I'm not talking about the person reach out one time and you act in that way. But you have to be mindful of your capacity too.
Yeah.
Am I gonna trip out? Am I gonna harm myself because I'm too overwhelmed? You better retreat.
I'm gonna be honest. You know, I'm very honest with people these days. If I feel like my piece is getting taken from me, and I do want you in my life, and I do want you around, I like your company. I don't like your toxicity. I'll tell you straight up. Hey, listen, bro. I'm gonna just be real. You know, I got a lot of love for you, but if you're gonna talk like that, look, I can't. Look, I'm positive. You know, I'm gonna be open and transparent with you. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm better than you, because I'm not. But talking like that and you know and having those kind of vibes, bro, that you know that'll send you down. And if we talking like that, look, man, you got to call me back. And believe me, I have done this.
I provide an ear. Sometimes active listening helps a person get to the next level where they need to in their healing journey. Just having an active ear. However, I will allow so many times that I need to activate my ear, because activating my ear, interacting with that active listening where I'm not judging, I'm not even putting my input in, I'm just a vessel that you can hear something and then we let it go there, right? Because sometimes people really be in crisis and they just sometimes need to talk it out.
So let's talk about that. Sometimes, and so we're not saying, you know, tell everybody no, like, you know, because like she said, you may have somebody who's in a real crisis, in a real situation, and they may need you. We're not talking about though. We're talking about people that perpetuate
self-loathing,
perpetuate toxicity, right?
And you see it coming. Chaos, and you see it coming, girl.
Guess what?
Girl, guess what? Look, do they hand pull it all the way down? Because they got that tea is
They
good.
got it. Hey.
Girl, and I got the honey. You ready for the spoon, girl? And you're like,
we're
oh,
ready to
I'm
feed
really
you with
not,
that spoon.
right. Too. It's like, oh, I was dealing with some, a real hard time at work. And, I'm not really, you trying to tell them, girl, child, just wait. I'm coming over. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring something for us to drink. What wine you drinking? Like, they're not listening to what you're going through and what you're trying to say that, hey, I need to take some time. Again, breaking down those barriers of understanding what self-love is and what self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up Pentecostal, y'all, in a predominantly Black church. And I was taught that meditation was bad. I was taught that it is not of God. And when I offered more knowledge or information on it, a lot of individuals kind of like, oh, Rachel on that Black hippie stuff again. Like, they didn't shun me, but a lot of people are like, we don't do all of that. Listen, don't always take everyone's voice for it. Read it for yourself. Meditation is the ability for you to take over your body and allow your stress level to come down. You're intently focusing. Sometimes you can pray. Sometimes you can hum. Sometimes you can just really stay in that motion to bring your stress level down. We, as people of color, have not been able to regulate our bodies. And guess what stress is doing to us, Art Collins?
It's killing us.
It's killing us.
And
we haven't been able to regulate it.
And sometimes you wonder why you got heavy bags under your eyes. You're looking older. You don't feel so good when you wake up in the morning. I don't like that. Right. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm waking up like that, I'm analyzing something in my life that is going on to make me think like that.
That's right.
Because I do not like waking up in negativity, period.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if I caused it, guess what? Because sometimes we are our own worst enemy. Sometimes it ain't even that phone call. Sometimes it ain't that person. Sometimes it's us.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I had to realize, and take accountability for me that I was causing my own stress, that I was causing my own toxicity, and I was destroying myself. Sometimes the biggest battles are with self.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. With self, with taking on toxic relationship, people around you, even, listen, on your job, we all want to be the best of the best. Most of us do anyway. We all want to excel. And we all want to break that glass ceiling that sometimes hangs over us. Mm-hmm. But then when you see a boss that's taking credit for the things you designed, taking credit for the things that you did and you supervised and you created, and making themselves look good, and they don't show no love towards you, that's manipulation too. Yeah. That can often cause strain on a work relationship to the point where you don't feel well. You start to define yourself by the way that someone's manipulating you to keep you in the same place. So your mind is telling you, I'm not good enough. That right there needs self-care too. That right there needs to be redefined, refocused, and recreated within yourself. You got to have enough faith in yourself to say, I'm not going to work here anymore. I'm not going to work underneath this pressure. Yeah. I'm going to bring this to this person's attention. And if they say, well, you're fired, I don't want you here, you got to have enough self-respect and dignity for your self-care.
And just call Art Collins. I mean, if you have a situation where you get terminated, no, don't call me. But maybe some people I help, some people I don't. You know what I mean? I do have an ebook coming out on that. But anyway.
But workplace stress is real.
Workplace stress is.
You can feel that way and not feel your purpose at all, you guys. And I know some of you all know, especially those that work, manual and labor jobs. A lot of times you're like, dang, after they take out whatever they take out in taxes, it ain't even enough for me to have gas, go out maybe with my friends.
And then they want you there every day. They want you there on the weekend, Saturday. I worked a job 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was like, you know what? In my mind, let me tell y'all what I'm thinking. Now, you would think, okay, so I have 15 felonies, 1 strike, right? Now, I'm very transparent about this, and I like to be because I want to help somebody. Now, in my mind, you would think like, I'm thinking like, well, if I leave this job, am I gonna get another one? You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking like that at all. In my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm stressed out. They got me working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and the pay is not what I want it to be. Not something that is helping me. So while I was there and in the process of going through that turmoil, you know what I did? I went to look for another job, right? I didn't leave that one. What I did was I looked for another one and look for a way out.
The story that's not right. Finish what you were saying.
I looked for a way out. I went and I did something about it. I told myself I cannot allow myself to be in a stressful situation like this. I'm not going to do it. And see, I see people do it all the time, year after year, and it's stressing you out. It's aging you. It's you're not enjoying life.
The Europeans and a lot of Italian countries, they take a 2-hour lunch break. They shut everything down.
Yeah.
People are allowed to shut their shops and their stores that you would go to, Walmart and all that other big old stores or whatever. They shut it down for prayer.
Yeah.
I love it. They do a lot of things for the self, and we're not taught that in Western values. We're taught to capitalize, go, 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 go. And a lot of us are not built that way. I know I'm not. I gotta get to the ocean. I gotta get to some water. I got to get to some greenery because that's my sanctuary.
Yeah.
It allows me to understand that I'm a part of this universe and I'm not supposed to be stuck in one cellular form.
I'm going to just tell you, for me, this is how I look at it. I see the next man hopping on yachts and enjoying his life and laughing and in my mind, I'm like, you breathe the same air I breathe, bruh, sis. I'm not, look, and no hate towards y'all, but y'all, my motivation to come up, because I can't allow myself to be in a situation where I'm stressed out. I just can't do it. So guess what? The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. Mm-hmm. What I'm doing all day is I am thinking. Mm-hmm. You use your brain, man. Pac said it best. Use your brain. Sit down, come up with a plan. How am I going to get out of this? You know what I mean? I do it all the time and sometimes it takes time. But if you sit there and you think about it long enough, and I'm telling you, you're gonna come up with something, and you're gonna figure it out.
Going back to my original thought, the untold story about what self-care looked like in a pandemic. While a lot of us was stressing the heck out because we had to redefine and reorganize ourselves to survive, as far as money, as far as finances, stocks, all that other stuff, we thought we had a safety net. Those individuals who were able to come and get the additional pandemic of $600 in the beginning were taking that money, paying off bills. That little extra income that they were getting was better than what their wages were. Come on, America, that should tell you something. Give people an earning living wage that they can be able to live sustainable lives, live where 30% of their income doesn't go to housing. They don't know how to put gas in their tank and still make it to work and feed their babies and pay for childcare. All these things on top of the fact that you have to pay taxes or high emission costs, right? I'm saying this, a lot of individuals, and I love to share this because it gives perspective. When I went to Puerto Vallarta in the middle of the pandemic, yes, I went in November. It was so many Americans there living it up that were those workers, those blue-collar workers and those warehouse workers. They were living their best lives off of the extra $600 they were able to get. They paid their bills in America, taxes, and was able to live abroad for those 6 and 7 months. Now, a lot of y'all might be mad because y'all had to work through that. But what about the rest of the country that's been working like slaves and we haven't been paying them their worth?
That's horrible.
So they can't fill these jobs that are happening right now. That should be a big eye opener. It's not that people are lazy. People are going to do what they have to do. But why does it make sense that I allow somebody to watch my baby for 16 hours while I go work for 12? You get what I'm saying? Plus the commute. I never see my kids. I never spend time with my husband. And that's why a lot of people fell out in the pandemic because they really didn't know the person they was sleeping with. Y'all was working too much. Y'all was working out in the field. You didn't know that person. Y'all didn't take quality time to grow. So that's important.
Yeah, and you know what else is important is believing in yourself, having confidence. Because some of us will remain in the situations that we're in if we don't have that faith in ourselves that we can do it. And some of us we walk in fear.
Right.
You know, sometimes you have to slap fear in his face.
That's right.
And a lot of times, you know, the things that we are afraid of hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
Sometimes the fear comes when we're afraid of what may happen. Now, listen, I was in a situation where I was working at a warehouse. I did not like the hours. I did not like the pay. First thing I did was I talked to God. I said, God, you know, I'm very happy and thankful that you blessed me with means to provide for my family.
All right.
But please help me get something better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started applying myself.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't do it. I felt like, you know, in order for my happiness to be a little bit more secure, I knew that I had to do something different.
Ooh,
and
that's deep.
And I knew that I couldn't keep doing the same thing. And look, I got 15 felonies in one strike. You know what I told myself? I told myself, I've been in this field for a long time. I said, I've ran teams. I said, you know what? I need to become somebody's boss. And I started applying for supervisor positions.
Come on now.
I cannot make this up. You know, my wife is on the feed. She can tell you the real. Okay. I said, you know what? No longer will I allow somebody to tell me what to do on the lower level. If I have somebody telling me what to do, it's about managing my team.
That's ambition, y'all.
And you know, I'm no longer going to be that one that's being told what to do on the floor. I'm going to be the one telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And you know what I did? I took some of the information that I had with running teams and all of that, and I put that on my application.
Mm-hmm.
I have experience with running teams. I have experience with directing people. I had experience with, certain things within in that field that, you know, were required as a supervisor without a degree. I didn't have my degree at the time. I have it now. But so I went for it. I started applying for jobs. Listen, it didn't. My wife is watching. She could tell you I'm not even playing. It didn't take me long at all. You know, sometimes God is, you know, real quick, let me tell y'all this story in the Bible. The Bible, there's a story where Moses was standing before the Red Sea, and you know, the Pharaoh and his army was coming for the children of Israel. Moses went and started crying to God. He was like, God, help me. The people are ready to stone me. I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. You know what God told him? He said, why are you crying to me? Go forth. Sometimes we crying, we hoping that something comes along, and God is looking at you like, just do it.
Wow.
Just do it. And in my mind, I had to have the faith and belief in myself to get that inner peace. I knew where my peace lied at. I knew where my inner peace was. My inner peace was over there, not where I was at. So in order to get over there, I started applying myself. And guess what? I got a job as a supervisor. And I started running my own team. You know, and then I got a job as a manager. I became a manager over 550 associates. I was walking around telling people what to do. I was walking around in different departments. Guess what? And as I started growing, I started gaining more experience. So then once I got my degree, you know, both of them kind of clashed. So, you know, I went and applied for other positions, and they said I was overly educated.
Yeah, that happens a lot, even in my
with felonies and one strike.
Right.
Only because I told myself that I'm a boss. You know, and it's not being cocky or nothing. I was in a very bad situation with my work, with my job. Now imagine if I would have chose to stay there and didn't have faith in myself and the courage to say that I am smart enough to run a team. I am smart enough to tell somebody what to do. I was doing it on the lower level. You know what I mean? I had the supervisors telling me to tell the team what to do. So guess what? I was like, I might as well be the supervisor. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been, you know, but guess what? I had to tell myself, you know what? I'm going to be a very good worker. I was a very good worker. I learned every aspect of the job in order to meet that standard.
And it goes back to the integrity of your work ethic too. because you were not looking for anyone to hand anything to you. And that's the difference, young people. And I see that with the young people. There's a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of I want to keep up with the Joneses per se. That's old lingo.
They want it without doing the work.
They want it without doing the work. I mean, that's a lot of the young people's mentality now, and it's not gonna cut it, you guys. You got to do the work, and you could be brilliant. You can download a brilliant idea, but if you don't know how to set it out in its purpose, it's not going to be anything but a great idea.
No.
It can be something of form, something of creation, right? But you got to set it. You got to set it in true form. And so we, shouting out to everyone watching, understanding where you got to redirect yourself this year. We're in the middle of the pandemic. We're kind of on a teeter-totter where they're talking about going backwards, masking up, shutting down a little bit here and there. But remember, stay focused. Stay focused.
Please.
If you have some business proposals or plans that you want to maneuver on, be quiet, maneuver, and do. Come out and show. And continue to move forward and do what you have to do.
Because I'm going to just be real. Let me speak on that. This is another form of toxicity with people. When you have, and you just brought it to flourishing right now, because when you have an idea, like Rebel Ray says, sometimes it's good to keep it to yourself. When you have a thought of doing something powerful, do not call that negative friend, because that negative friend is going to tell you, that's a good idea, man, but somebody, the bishop used to always say, my bishop at the time used to always say, when you hear that word but, notice something's going to happen. Now, when you hear,
he
used to say that.
Said, look for it in the word of God. Something's going to happen.
Yep, something's going to happen. So, but when you hear him say but, know that they're not with you. They're not with what's your vision, your dream, because this is what they're going to say immediately after that but. But I hear a lot of people don't make it in that arena. Why don't you do this? Wait a minute. How are you, somebody who has never done anything, going to give me any advice of how to do anything? That's
you don't got a lick of sense if you listen to that person.
You don't.
And they never produce anything from their tree. You protect your own fruit.
Oh, that's powerful.
I need you to hear that.
Oh.
Protect your own fruit. Why would you invest any of your creative genius that God gave you into a dead tree?
Ooh.
That person don't even produce nothing.
Hey, listen, y'all, we're going to have to start charging.
I don't even have time. I don't have time. And I download, listen, people be like, Rachel, you a know-it-all. But I read. I study. I talk to people. And I download from the information in the universe. And a lot of y'all be like, she's downloading. Yes, you can download information that's in the universe, y'all. I know it sounds quirky, but listen to quantum physics. Listen to a lot of intellectual talk on things that are explored and how information is transcended. We only use not even 10% of our brain, some of us. But those that have excelled past that have been able to understand other people's thoughts. So again, I'm going off topic, but there's so much in this universe, in this world, waiting for you to explore, waiting for you to build on. And you can't get sidetracked by people who just want to stay in a negative shell. Man, you just can't.
Don't eat fruit off somebody who, if that person is negative, don't be eating fruit from their tree. And don't let them eat fruit from yours.
Bro. They don't even have the soil. Their soil is not even enriched. Come on, I'm downloading something right now. Their soil is not even enriched. Their roots are not activated to be able to draw up that information. That's how that tree is given life. So why would you put and invest even in that? Why would you even invest in that friendship? Out of guilt? Because y'all came from the same mother plant? I'm dropping knowledge right now. Y'all came from the same mother plant, so therefore that person has the same genetic coding that you're supposed to grow at the rate you're supposed to grow at. No, it all depends who gets sunlight. It all depends who gets nutrition. It all depends who gets that nurturing water and that talking to. from the person that you need to get it from. And if when you're a negative person, you cannot get none of those things, so your tree can flourish. Now, I'm gonna go into what your tree also goes into. Your tree will go into pruning. One of my favorite quotes from Medea is when she was on stage, and I forgot what play it was, and she was talking about how the tree goes through seasons, and she personified the person, the roots, the trunk, you have the limbs, and then you have the tree, the leaves. The leaves itself even go through seasons. And she talks about even how in all these seasons, you have people that will fall off of you.
Yeah.
As you begin to grow. Sometimes you have to be pruned. There might be a dead limb that has attached itself to you, that's drawing nutrition from it, but it's not doing anything. That dead limb got to be broken off. All those things you think the tree can't feel.
Girl, you speaking.
The tree can feel that. The tree is just as alive as you and me and our Collins. So again, when you're going through that pruning season, it seems like just terrible storms is going. You hear what I'm saying? This is for somebody right now. And
this for somebody right now.
The Holy Ghost thing came in. I don't know what happened.
I'm trying to say, yeah.
I want to speak underneath the anointing right now because I'm anointed. A lot of people, they'll look at me and they'll be like, oh God, here comes Rachel. But I allow God to do whatever he needs with me and be a good vessel. But this is for somebody right now. I had to go through exactly that. I had to go through a pruning. It was hurtful. I lost a lot. I had to find self-identity again. I had to figure out my greatness and my purpose. All of that in the midst of a storm. You don't even know you're up from your down. You're topsy-turvy. You don't know the ocean from the sky. Everything just looks like a mirror. It's a blur. You're in a storm. If you can just hold on to your navigation system, your inner navigation system, those inner ethical, moral guidance, prayer, fasting, understanding what it takes for self-care, you will make it through your storm. But this is the time to trust the self. Yeah. This is the time to develop that tree and love that tree and put nutrients into that tree. That tree is you.
Man.
I mean, you're going to get through the storm. You've seen these trees being pulled out, but there's trees they're so rooted. They're so rooted, they can't be pulled out by the storm. They can't be pulled out by the rain. They got that good nutrients. They're there where the sun is and getting that good vitamin D and sunlight, right? So understanding all of that and personifying that and putting that towards that, that's the greatest lesson ever told. Man. To self-care, to self-identity.
See, I'm gonna be real.
You
know what I mean? What's important? First, like whenever you ride an airplane, do you what the stewardess, what she'll say is, with the mask, first put the mask on yourself first. Make sure you're all right first before you get to trying to help other people so that you can help somebody, once you help yourself. You cannot help anybody if you do not first help yourself. Okay? Ooh. Now this is very important. Self-care is very important. And this is why you have to make sure that your tree is rooted, that your tree is flourishing, so that people who are coming along whose trees aren't as rooted and whose trees are withered and 1 second, y'all. Let me thank you, crew member.
Trees are withered. And
let me just make sure I'm good here.
You good?
Okay, I'm good.
We're following the comments, y'all.
What you want to make sure that you have an abundant amount of fruit on your tree to provide to the world.
Woo, that's a
you want to be a tree of life
to the world.
You want to be a tree of life.
Yes.
Look, because you don't want to be like that fig tree that Jesus cursed that wasn't producing any fruit. Why? Because it couldn't help anybody. God had created that fig tree to do a certain activity, and that was to produce fruit, and it did not do that. So guess what? It was useless. He couldn't do anything with it. You know, don't be that useless tree.
Yeah.
You know, be a tree that is
That's
well watered,
yes.
that's full of life.
Yes.
That when people come and they bite the fruit off of your tree, they want to keep coming back, and it's giving them strength in a good way. You see what I'm saying?
To give back, right? To give back. And we didn't get around to that other boundary. We talked about that. We need to talk about that before we end this podcast, and that's healthy sexual boundaries. Let's talk about it.
And real quick, before you get into that,
yeah,
because that's a whole nother. My wife just posted something that was very powerful, and it happened while I was watering my grass one day. Right, I was, and I had a few things in my mind that I was dealing with, and as I was watering my grass, I'm telling y'all, I'm not one of the people that say God told me, but I'm telling you, I really feel like God told me this. As I was watering my grass, some came to me and said, whatever you water, that's what will grow. And in my mind, I was thinking like, wow, I've been entertaining certain thoughts, certain things, and I've been watering those thoughts. Ooh. And that's what has grown strong in my life. Now,
that's instead of t-shirt, buddy.
Yeah, instead of watering the thoughts that are going to help me and be healthy and grow the most positive things. Whatever you think, that's what you will be. And whatever you water, that's what's going to grow. And what do I mean? Whatever you think about, whatever you put your time into. If it's negative, that's what's going to be big in your life. If it's positive, that's what's going to be big.
And to take it to a deeper spiritual and a physiological, molecular level, because I love that.
molecular
level, water is seen to be intelligent.
Water
and that
is intelligent.
Actually can carry vibration. It can carry language. Water also helps the mood of a person. So we're 70% water.
Yes.
And so there is a research study out there that they tape certain words to frozen water.
We're water that was frozen. Aquatic beings.
We're aquatic beings. They taped certain negative words to water and froze it, and they taped positive words to water and froze it. And guess what? It was different asymmetrical shapes for the water with negativity, and it was round, harmonious shapes with words that had positivity to it. So again, we're 70% water. What you speak out of your mouth, you are absorbing back into your space, back into your spirit, back into your essence. So speak life, speak positivity, because you're actually manipulating the mood that you want to enhance in your body.
And let me explain something. When your mood is
affirmation,
when you're in a good mood, you can think more clearly to do greater things. When you're in a negative mood, your confidence is stricken. You're in confusion. You don't know what to do. But when you're in a good mood, it's like, I can do anything.
Right.
I can hop over this mountain. Oh, you know what? You said I can't do that. Well, I can. And guess what? I will. This is what having positive thoughts.
Yes.
And positive characteristics will do.
And listening to positive things. So your music,
that is powerful.
Your music, certain podcasts, certain individuals that
podcast,
are just
make sure
talking.
you listen against all odds, because we,
listen against all odds. We're gonna feed you in different ways.
Okay. Yeah.
But really lighting that ability, right, to go towards a nutritional intake for you, right, and just putting good things in your body. But I wanted to go to sexual boundaries. We're going to get there, I promise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sexual boundaries is your ability to know, am I dating and sleeping with toxic people? Am I doing at-risky behavior? Like just the most random person, I'm going to make out with them and sleep with them out of the club, right? A super one-night stands that you do. That's real risky behavior. Or going to clubs or going to shadow places that allow for certain sex to happen, to engage in certain sex that you may not be exposed to. It changes your understanding about what sex is for you. So certain people who battle sex addictions, addictions, oftentimes find themselves struggling with sexual boundaries, just sleeping with random people just because, you know. I think one of my favorite songs that's out by Jasmine Sullivan, she was talking to herself like, girl, we out, we here again. We didn't slept. Who is he? You got a number on your body, right? So having that understanding, like, I'm either gonna put out, I'm not gonna put out, I'm not in a healthy place right now to even have a sexual relationship with somebody. I'm gonna work on myself. That's practicing sexual boundaries and good sexual boundaries, healthy boundaries.
Yeah, you'll find yourself, you'll be in a even happier place.
Yes.
You know, and some of you single people, it may be more of a sexual frustrated place, but it'll be a happier place. And you know, we have to not only set boundaries, but learn how to discipline ourselves.
Right.
You know, because the discipline that you give to yourself is going to make you a happier person.
Self-accountability.
Yeah.
On all ends, you guys, against all odds, self-accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you got to practice your emotional intelligence. Or Collins, like, when you know there's a person that's going to call you out and get you there, and you know you can get there, but you're practicing to withhold from being so angry and be irrational, emotional in your response. Why would you even take on an argument with that person? Why would you even engage in a conversation? Why take the phone call, right? Sometimes avoiding that situation at all costs to protect your inner peace, and never allowing that person the big, you know, what is that when a person really kind of just pushes you? They kind of like get off on that. What is that called?
It's like getting under your skin like a dirty syringe.
Make you want to go off. And, I mean, we got couples that do that to one another.
You know what? And that is a form of toxicity.
It is.
Because some people, you know, they feel like, okay, you got over on me. And then we're talking about relationship wise. So now I'm going to do something to make you upset and get over on you. And then it's just a back and forth feud. And guess what? You're not helping anybody. And then pride comes in the way. I'm not going to apologize. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wasn't wrong. You know, sometimes it's just, you know, I mean, apologizing and admitting that you're wrong and, you know, just confronting the situation is what's going to help you sometimes.
Shout out to Dante Ramirez, one of our local healers here. He says, yep, once you become aware, you become accountable. You got to be accountable to the self. You know what I mean? It's like, why not protect yourself when you know these type of people are going to come about?
That's actually deep. Once you become aware, you become accountable. If you do not do something about the situation, when you become aware of it, that's you made a mistake.
You get tricked on and everything
else. Tricked on. You a peon.
I hate to say it like that. That's not really trauma informed, but yeah, you're actually enabling that person to treat you in that way.
Yeah, you're giving them the green light to treat them to treat you like that.
And no one can have power but my creator. I'm sorry.
That's it.
That's
Period. You're not gonna have, you know, the power over me to shift and move me how you want to move me.
No.
Now, how do I know this? Because I've allowed people to have power.
Mm-hmm.
And that ain't a good feeling. It's not. Because guess what? That'll have you all on the freeways ready to throw bottles at people. True story.
I have another when it talks about that. Mm-hmm. Prince was a well-diverse musician person, and he was deeper than anything that you can ever think and understand.
When doves cry.
He was a one-of-a-kind person, and his music, if you listen,
Purple
connected.
Rain.
And he has one, if someone doesn't mind naming it, because I can't say it on the air, but he has a song that says A up. And it's in the video. He's talking about how people will gossip, how they were trying to control you. And he was like, bury her A up. Because at the end of the day, can't nobody send me. Can't nobody send for me. I got to be able to hold myself accountable for when people are gossiping around me. I mean, he was so brilliant to be able to tell a story.
Song?
I know the song. I just said it.
But no. But it's a song that actually talks about people like this. It's an old school song.
Smiling Faces.
No, that one too, smiling faces. But it's another one that actually talks about how people be gossiping, backstabbing. Not backstabbers, though. Not that one.
That one?
Not
backstabbers. Is that the one?
No, that's not it.
Dang, we should understand which one it is. I know
it's in my mind. It's bothering.
One of the girl groups had one. Was it TLC?
No, it was older. It was an old school group.
Older one.
Yeah, it was either a group or a person. I'm trying to remember.
Well, it was a lot of them that actually told the truth about how to maintain your self-care and watch out for them wicked ones. Because there's a lot of people that do bad magic. They'll pray over you. They'll do all kind of stuff to inflict you. You don't even know. You think it's you. It's an outside spiritual force that's coming against you. And it's nothing but what flesh and blood can't do. Only spirit can be able to break some of them forces that come against you too. And people who operate like that, Art Collins, you got to beware, because they own some enlightened way of how to manipulate and make you do some things that you may not want to do. You got to be prayed up, y'all. You got to be prayed up. You got to look for the signs. All company and good company. Hello, somebody. You start taking on their negative actions and behaviors. You got to set them boundaries, have some self-care. It's
so true. Birds of a feather flock together.
Come on now.
Show me your company and I'll show you you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, somebody tell me, I ain't no liar, but everybody you roll with is liars. I can't trust you, bro. I'm sorry. It's just me.
And you know what? As a social worker, I know a little bit of everybody, but I connect with everybody. You know what I mean? And I know some scandalous people. I do. But to associate with them and to break bread with them is another different story.
I know scandalous people, and I was one of them at one time.
Wait.
I was just being honest.
Oh my God, he's delivered. He's delivered.
I'm fully delivered.
He's
y'all
delivered.
Listen, that was a whole nother person. Y'all don't even know.
Scam no more.
I don't
You don't want to turn and flip your paycheck no more.
No, Mo. I'm telling you, because I was that guy.
He's not going to inbox you and tell you go to the bank and pull 5,000. I'll tell you how to. Jesus.
Hey, so you know
that was crazy to really be able to scam somebody like that. I'm not glorifying scamming, y'all.
I was a master
this
scammer.
Guy right here, he has a story. When the book comes out, bro.
Yeah, I was a master scammer, and you know, I did some really bad things. I'm not happy about, you know, but
you had to pay them dues.
I paid my dues. And this is why I know those spirits when I see them. You know what I mean? I ain't judging nobody. I ain't casting no stones. Trust me.
Okay, so you told us the healthy no, but you didn't tell us the rebuke. What is a healthy rebuke? When they just coming for you, you like, no, I know who you are. Leave me alone. Like, how do you say that?
So when and I'm an expert in this area too. Trust me, I didn't see it all. When I have that person, because this is what happened. I may tell a person, hey, I can't do it right now, right? I had a person do this, no lie. Netta is my witness. I told him, I was like, hey, so you got to figure out the right words. You know, you don't want to lie, right? But you got to figure out the right words, you know. So this is what I say. It's not a good time right now.
It's not a good time.
Okay? I have other words, but this is just one of them. I can't give them all out because they may be watching the podcast.
Hold on. Hey, you said that to me one time.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Rachel, it's not a good time.
Rachel, you family, you know you good.
That's not a good time. Oh, that's one of your keywords? Oh my God, I'm writing notes. It's not.
That's why I can't use all my words.
It's not a good time for me right now.
So I'll say, you know, it's
not a good time.
It's
what's the one that became famous off of me? It's above me now.
Oh, it's above me.
It's above. I've always been my own boss, so it's hard to say it's above me now.
It's above at work. I'll say it's above my pay grade. Hey, man, that's above my pay grade.
That's above my pay grade.
I can't. But so I'll say, what did I say? I'll say lost train of thought.
You lost your train. Yeah. I'm sorry. I do that to you all the time.
What did I say?
You were saying I was asking you what's an assertive way to tell somebody you know they're coming to manipulate. Like, nah.
Listen,
bro.
I'll tell them. See, and I'm not lying. You know, I'll say it's not a good time right now. That can mean anything, but I just choose to disclose what that anything is, right? So it's not a good time right now. So this particular person, I said it's not a good time right now. They hung up with me. They said, okay, no, I understand, and called my wife and asked her the same exact thing. And she told me, like, can you believe this? This person just came and asked me the same thing that they asked you, like they're going to get a different perspective.
Bro, some people don't pick up social cues, though, bro.
Some people are just,
some people don't. They just don't. They don't got a clue.
So I had to, she had to say no.
She had to say no.
I don't think the person
the
took it so well. So when they came back around, because they did, I had to tell them, listen, I don't loan money to my family members, right? Particularly your family, because I've had people in your family, which they're my family, but their family, get me for hundreds of dollars. I just had to come out and tell them. I was like,
scammed.
I told them, I said, look, so this is the reason why I'm not giving money to you, because I've had some of your siblings, and I'm not saying no names, some of your siblings, they laundered all kind of money from me. I'm going to say laundered.
Laundered.
If I can say that from my perspective,
gosh.
You know what I mean? But they used me for hundreds of dollars, and I was happy they did, because now anytime any one of y'all come and ask me, no, I'm gonna just tell you. So that was how I utilized it in that situation. In a normal situation where I have a person who don't understand no, right? And I don't have that as a backup, right? But I know I don't want to give to this person because they're users. You know what I mean? I'll tell them, hey, because some people will get mad. Well, you just don't want to help me, and blah, blah, blah. I'll say, you know what? It's not that I don't want to help you, man. It's just that I'm gonna just be real. First of all, I'm not loaning out money at this time. And really at this time means to you. I'm not loaning out money at this time.
So
I'm not lying. So I'm telling you right now.
So you say a nice direct way,
yeah,
but it's a way where you don't kind of damage the social relationship, where you guys can still talk afterwards. And
honestly,
you don't demean the person.
I try to be a little nicer because I wait and see your response. Because if you get mad at me and you give me a reason to end the relationship, I wrote in one of my raps. I said, what did I say? I said, what did I say?
I don't know. You wrote it.
Anyway, it'll come to me another time. But I don't mind cutting ties with those kind of relationships. If you're gonna get mad at me because I'm not giving you something that don't belong to you, I mean, that don't even make no sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? You're mad because I'm not helping. Like, you're retarded. Like, to me, you're retarded, and I don't want that relationship anyway.
He didn't mean to say that word. It's a cultural word.
Will say another word, and I didn't mean it in the sense of.
I always got to do like this.
No, please, because I don't want people thinking I'm saying something that I'm not. So I use the word. People. No, yeah, because I'm not speaking about disabled people, but I will say this. I will say in the sense of being, some people are foolish. I use that word. Some people are foolish, and I don't want to be around foolish people. And sometimes people think are users. Look, I'll cut that tie, because when you get mad and you want to cuss me out and all that, because I didn't give you something, you just showed me who you were at that point, and that told me that I don't even listen. At this point, I don't care about telling you the real. I'll really get grimy with you at that point. Be like, all right, well, you know what to do. You can unfriend me. Look. So you can do whatever you want to do.
To sum it up, R. Collins is passionate about that topic.
I am, because
one more thing that we need to talk about before we go.
I still love you. I still love you, but I don't love your ways.
Social media boundaries, you guys.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Protecting your peace. When it's too overwhelming and you're having a bad week and you feel like you're not doing good about yourself, first self-check. Can you handle and have the capacity to take in everyone else's expectations?
Especially, let me tell you a big
viewing their lifestyles. Can you handle that? If you can't, stay off of social media. Because
what is big too is indirect statements. Okay, so what will have you upset in the morning is you read a post and you think it's about you, and sometimes it may not be about you, and sometimes it may be about you, you know. And now, if you can't handle the social media situation, you know, you find yourself waking up in the morning mad, angry at a person. They don't even know you mad at them, right? And then they may not even been talking about you, you know, because there's a bunch of people that, you know, any given person is around
we're
in the
downloading
day.
the same thing sometimes. Sometimes that is just what that presence of information is. And that was downloaded to a bunch of people and it's been on a bunch of people's spirits. So sometimes they might post it as whatever their post is, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's about you. That's
and if it is, you have to understand how to cut those things off so they're not destroying your spirit. I know a person that used to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You know, and another thing is, does it apply? If it applies, how can you fix it and not stay in that same negative mentality, right? So if it does apply to something that someone posts, do you take that towards you? But again, it's easier just to turn your social media alerts, turn it off, and deep unplug.
You know what I do? When I feel like, you know, first of all, because I've gotten indirect statements before, right? And in my mind, I'm like, first of all, that's not me, right? You know, and I'm not one of those dudes that is just wonder. I'm gonna pick up the phone and call. Was you talking about me?
Oh,
that's me. I'm just being real. I will call you.
That's even feeding into
it is. But I'm saying,
people, because
I'm saying,
a lot of times they
want you to do that. But
attention.
Listen, I've done this in the past, right?
I'm not getting my attention.
No, but listen, these are things. I'm just going down the process of so these are things that I've done in the past. I would have hopped on the phone, called the person, and asked where they're talking about me. You know, and 9 times out of 10 they would say yeah. Now, right? But this is what I do now. First of all, I know that. First of all, that ain't who I am as a person. What you're saying. Second of all, I'm not gonna make you famous, like Rebel Ray said, by feeding you what you want. You want the attention. You want me to be stirred in my spirit. Well, so you know what I do?
People are very professional at that on social media.
But you know what I do?
They're called trolls.
They have a 30-day mute button. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I'll mute you for 30 days where I can't see none of your posts or nothing. And then I'll keep it moving. If I feel like you
protecting your peace.
Listen, I will. And then after 30 days, sometimes I don't hear about it again because you probably didn't, you know, said a bunch of stuff and I ain't responded and you was like, skip it, I ain't gonna say nothing else.
To my sister girlfriends, for you that are struggling with loneliness and the inability to keep a man or not be married at the age that you would like, or just got out of a bad relationship, please, we don't want to hear it. And I don't have to be subliminal anymore.
Oh my God, speak it.
I have never, go and look back at my posts. I have never talked about an emotional relationship that I had on social media. First of all, that's in the internet forever. They could pull it, screenshot it, send it to people. It's one way to show how weak-minded you can be sometimes and emotionally unintelligent when you go to put all of your information on social media. It's one thing to feel strong, it's one thing to warn, it's one thing to share, but there is a thing called oversharing. You can certainly overshare and find yourself defining crazy boundaries for yourself. When you overshare, you are inviting individuals to have that input into your life. If you are a person who cannot take criticism, do not post. And sometimes it takes me, even when I do feel emotional, because we all feel emotional, I sometimes want to post every day. But when you're feeling that way, it's time for you to pull back from social media and not believe that it's just a stage that someone's going to be there. They're going to see it and they're going to either amplify it, they're going to talk about it, they're going to acknowledge it. Notice what that is. People have been using social media as an unhealthy coping skill to deal with their own stuff. Stop it. Stop putting it up on people. Stop projecting. Take ownership for your emotional regulation and don't post. That ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. Let me tell you something. When your man cheat and your fingers get to talking, your heart gets to flowing, but your mind ain't in it, it's a catastrophe every time. It's going to be on the shade room. It's going to be what other pages it's going to be on. You got to be careful. And that's what I'm talking about, having those social media boundaries. Don't, what's the word I'm trying to use, Art Collins? It's like, don't subject yourself to scrutiny if you can't handle it. That's number one. Yeah. Don't subject yourself to other people's various stories either. Because what's on social media is not real, y'all. People only give you snapshots of what's happening in their life. They're not telling you the whole story. She ain't telling you what she really had to do to get that Mercedes Benz. Come on, somebody. You're looking at everybody and comparing your body. And I'm talking to the young girls and some of the old ones, because I got to talk to myself. Dang, I should go get some body work. You feel me? Mm-hmm. It's easy now. Everybody doing it. Girl, I don't take myself to talk to myself and say, go in the gym. It's going to help you with your stress level too, Rachel. Chill out, right? But yeah, we get to talking on social media. We get to sharing stuff. And we have these expectations that are unrealistic. Guys, if you're interested in me, please do not send me, you know what, through the text message anymore. Don't do it. That's not how you use social media. You guys, you just don't. I'm being so honest right now. It's hurting me to be honest right now, Art Collins, but people use social media for wicked things. They use it to promote gossip. They use it for all kind of things to scam people. If you're using social media in this way, guess what? You're not practicing good self-care. I don't care what nobody said.
Yeah.
You're just not.
She said it all in a nutshell. You know what I mean? And please take her advice. Trust me.
Stop with the subliminals. If you a real gangster on social media, let's meet up at a Central Mart. Call me and Art Collins. We're going to film it, and we're going to see who was the last one to stand. Stop putting subliminals up there like the girl don't know that who you talking to, or the guy don't know who you talking to. Have enough. Have enough cojones to say what you need to say face to face.
We're going to be trauma-informed.
Or leave it alone.
Yeah. Some people ain't got them
that mess alone.
You got a lot of cell soldiers. That's what we call them.
Okay, cell soldiers. That's what they're called. We call them social media warriors. Their fingers are just at it like And then when you see me in passing, they're like, "What's up, Rachel?" I'm like, "What's up?" Because you're not gonna see me about anything. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. People do that.
I want to give a shout out to Lester Coleman. Appreciate you too, loved one. For tuning in.
You,
Shout out to everybody that has, been rocking with us and growing with us. All we doing is growing and
having fun.
Having fun. That's it. And trying to give you guys real life situations and being transparent and just letting you know what's on the heart of the people and what's on our hearts and minds.
So with that being said, like, subscribe, share. Hit the notification bell.
Please.
We only once a week, you guys. We come on from an hour to 2 hours. We did put follow our page, you guys, because we did put we asked for you guys to leave a review.
Leave a review.
We're asking each person that leaves a review, we're definitely going to have a lottery prizes. We're going to be giving out some prizes, but we'll let you know next podcast. So go ahead and leave a review for us on our page.
Yes, please.
A lot of people like to scroll through. We talk about the different work that we do in the community on this page, along with issues that are relative to us, right? So it may not be the podcast for everybody, but if it sparks an interest and you want to share it or you think, just let somebody know about it. But leave a review, especially a shout out to our loved ones. Y'all leave a review. Y'all might have some bias, but we want you to be honest.
Yeah, just be honest. Yeah. And it's your God-given right, because we're going to be honest and transparent. Everybody has an opinion. And we want to hear
Everybody
it.
has their truth.
And guess what? Everybody has their truth. And if you have a truth that you want to bring on our show, please bring it to our attention. If you want to be a guest on our show and you have something that you want to speak about, and if you have something that you want us to speak to you about, just hit us up, bring it forth. And if it fits our criteria, we'll definitely have you as a guest on our show. But like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and
leave a review.
Leave a review, please. Leave a review. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in each week with us.
Boom, 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 boom. We salute y'all.
Y'all have a good.
Hang in there.
Y'all have a blessed